All right, what's going on, everybody? I am Cameron Mitchell. I'm 23 years old. I am from Dallas, Texas, and I'm trying to reach my first 10K. Um, I work overnight security. I'm not going to mention the security company name, but I do security and I get paid $22 an hour because I am a lead or a manager, so to speak. Um, it's been I'm not gonna even start off with it's been different. Previously, I used to work at Amazon, getting paid like $20 or $21 an hour, but it was very strenuous. It was a lot of moving, a lot of long shifts, 10, 12 hour shifts, 5, 6 days a week, trying to pick up overtime and mandatory overtime, things like that. And the environment wasn't the best for my mental. So back in January, that's when I finally quit. I started January 2023 and I left of January 2026. Actually, I left on the exact same day I started back in 2023, which is crazy. So I was there for 3 years exactly. But I started doing wholesaling. I had got into a mentorship program, and my mentor at the time, he seemed like he was on the right path because he makes a lot of money, but the way that he got his money to me, it seemed very monotonous as well. It was almost like working a warehouse, but just like, I mean, as far as like the routine, it was very monotonous, a lot of cold calls and stuff like that. And it was very deceptive too, in my opinion, having to fake a finance team and, talk to these sellers and say, oh, my finance team got approved for 60,000. Are you okay with that offer? And constantly having to call these people. And basically it felt like harassment. I didn't want to make money that way. So um, during that time, I stayed with my dad. Then I had came back and moved back to my other property with my grandmother. So, um, that's where I'm at right now. But I say all that to say, I had got a security job before I came over here just to, I was going to invest in getting cold callers so I wouldn't have to cold call myself or have to cold call as much. So after I got, like, after I got the job, and I really thought about it. I'm still making calls. I'm like, bro, I don't think this is gonna work. This isn't me. So I put that down. I put wholesaling down, and I stopped it. I told my mentor like I no longer want to be a part of the program and stuff like that. And to this day, I'm still paying for the program that I'm not using, which is crazy because they put it on credit. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Now I'm working security, and I'm just stacking my money. I'm stacking my money because at the time it was about maybe $1,100 for one cold caller, and you need about two cold callers, which is going to be $2,200 a month just to really get traction and be able to get leads in order to close a deal on a property. So. And whenever you close a deal on a property, that could be anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, depending on what kind of deal you're doing. But like I said, this neither here nor there. I'm not doing wholesaling anymore. But I've been stacking, stacking instead of using that $1,100 every month. I've been just putting it back into my bank, putting it back into my bank account. And I know a lot of people may say that's not the best place to really put your money when you're trying to stack. Why not a high yield savings account and stuff like that? I'm doing what works for me. So about a year ago around this time, I started stacking my cash when I was at Amazon because I seen another guy do it. And I'm like, wow, that'll keep me accountable instead of getting this money and blowing it, getting this money and spending it. And I did that, and I posted on TikTok. I was doing numbers, but I feel like it was getting the wrong type of attention because I was showing cash. So now that I'm not doing that, I'm still stacking, but I'm just not showing cash anymore. Originally, my goal was to hit 20K and try to do that on TikTok, but um, at the time I didn't have my own vehicle. I had previous vehicles, but the last one I had, it gave out on me. So I had to get another vehicle. I bought a cash car for 2,900 while I was stacking, and that set me back. But from the outside looking in, I felt like the people were gonna judge me for spending that kind of money on a cash vehicle because I was already in a vehicle. I was in um my grandmother's vehicle at the time. So, they're like, why are you buying a vehicle if you already got one? And I feel like the perception is what caused me to stop posting. Part of it. But yeah, I stopped posting it. And as soon as I stopped posting, the accountability for myself stopped as well. So I had, I mean, I didn't stop stacking, but life hit. Birthday came up. I was running a clothing business at the time. I had spent money on a bulk order. Um, what else? Like I said, birthday came up, trips or a trip, just things like that. So the car I had to spend like $1,500 on stopping the oil leak. Took another trip to Colorado, just stuff like that. But now things are coming full circle. I'm back stacking. This was prior to January and me starting wholesaling and stuff like that. But yeah, so now I didn't even reach that 10K goal. I had hit like 6K, and then from there I started going down. So it's like I was up, and then I didn't even hit the halfway mark of hitting 20K. So um why I'm saving? I'm saving because I really want to buy my time back, and I ain't gonna lie, part of me just wants to see what 10K feels like in hand, knowing that I can reach 10K, building the discipline and becoming the person that tracks expenses. You know what I'm saying? Can hold 10K and just feel it and know that I have this cushion to make a decision from what I like instead of making a decision out of desperation. I have a younger brother, a younger sister, two younger sisters at that, and I want them to know, like, this is what it takes. Maybe one day not showing them the money in hand, because I definitely showed my little brother like when I had like $5,000. He's like, bro, what? So I can imagine like 10, or 20, but that's besides the point. Right now, I'm stacking because I need options. I have many different ways I can go. I don't know where my life is headed right now, but I do need options, and I feel like cash or just having that cushion will give me the option to do what I really want to do. But in the meantime, I'm just stacking, researching, watching videos, learning. You know what I'm saying? So when that time comes, I have the money to invest in myself. I have the funds plus the knowledge in order to do what I really want to do. Because I don't plan on working a 9 to 5 job for much longer. So mistakes I made when trying to save. Number one, I think would be trying to impress people subconsciously. You know, you get a $1,200 check and you want to spend $300 on clothes. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But it's the kind of clothes that you're getting and who you're getting it for. And I felt like for me, that's kind of where I went wrong. Um, just overspending on food because like at the time when I had the money, I felt like I can spend it just because I had it, not necessarily because I needed it. Like if I was hungry and I had food at the house, I'd be like, okay, I don't want that. I want to go to Panda Express, or I want to go to Cane's or Chipotle. Or, bro, you want something, then I'll buy food for, two other people, and I'm spending $50 on food when I had food at the house. So that just becoming a habit. Um, just overspending, really. That was my biggest mistake if I had to sum it up. Overspending. Um, so I stopped chasing shortcuts because I realized that shortcuts are gonna hold you back because if you take a shortcut, you got to retrace your steps. So if you're gonna do it, you know what I'm saying, do it slow, do it right, do it like if you do it wrong, you're gonna do it all day long. But I'm documenting this process because I want to be able to look back at this video 2 years from now, or a year from now, or 3 years from now, however long it may be, and see how long I see how far I came. That's really what it is for me. I want to see how far I came and show others that they can do it too, despite what position that they're in, no matter how long it takes them to stack or how slow their motion is. I want them to know that it can be done with enough time. So um even besides the money, just becoming the kind of person that, like I said, tracks expenses, doesn't seek other people's validation, has the cushion, has the options to do what they want to do, and can operate from, wanting to do something versus having to do something, because you'll be operating from two different mindsets. So that's really what I want to talk about today. I'm a little over $8,000, maybe about 8,400. But I definitely want to hit 10K before my birthday, and I still have about 98 days before I turn 24. So I'm pretty confident I can hit 10K as long as I, just keep showing up to